What's going on, people? It's your boy Running Up Rule back with another episode of Real Sports Talk, home of the Real Sports Talk. Tapping with your boy. Remember to hit that like, comment, and subscribe buttons. Dallas Cowboys was on a bye week. Now we got the Las Vegas Raiders coming up. But my question to you, good folks, playoffs? Can Dallas really make the playoffs? We're currently sitting 3-5-1. 3-5-1. Nobody could have predicted this. Nobody could have predicted this, but this is where we're at. So my question to you, good folks, is can Dallas make the playoffs? Can we make the playoffs? This video is simply one question. Can we make the playoffs? I want us to look at this schedule, this remaining schedule. We're at the bye. Let me stop the music real quick. We're at the bye. Well, last week was the bye. We played Monday night against the Las Vegas Raiders. Before I even get into everything, I was debating on whether I was going to make a little show about it or just mention it. Over the bye week, as we all know, Dallas lost one of our very own, Marshawn Nealon. We all know the reasonings behind it. Not the reason as to why, but the cause. As a Cowboys fan, it hurt. It hurt to hear that news. Such a talented kid, and I say kid because he was still very young, 24 years old, and he's no longer with us. I know the locker room is devastated. As a fan base, we were devastated. I think as a nation, we all felt some kind of way about it because, he just shined on that previous Monday night, scoring his first touchdown of his NFL career. And I don't want to be long-winded about it. My heart, my thoughts, my prayers are definitely out with his fiance, Catalina, their unborn child, his family, his friends, his unit, everybody that was close to him. My prayers go out to you guys. It's definitely unfortunate. In life, we go through things and we don't feel like we have anybody to talk to about it. We feel as though we don't want to be a burden to others when it comes to our own problems. And I just want to say, it would hurt me to know I lost somebody close to me because they felt like they didn't have anybody to turn to. So for Dak Prescott to where to ask for help on his tape on his arm pretty much every Sunday because he's lost his own brother, and I believe we have another person on the Dallas Cowboys who's dealt with this form of tragedy and also was a speaker up for suicide prevention. To know those two gentlemen were in the locker rooms and I'm sure willing to listen, it hurts them probably a little bit more than everybody else. Of course, everybody is grieving, but to have already dealt with it close to you once and then to lose a teammate in this fashion, I know this locker room is hurting. I can feel it from a distance. I just ask that the Lord covers this team, covers this fan base, covers anybody who's feeling like they're alone, feeling like they have nobody to turn to. There's help. There's always somebody willing to listen. There's always somebody willing to pick you up when you're down. And I hate to feel like anybody around me would feel like that's the only option for them. So I'm pretty sure the fellas in that locker room are staying close to one another. They're leaning on one another to get through this tough situation. Thank God that we were actually on a bye week when this happened because it's to for this to happen and then to have to play a game would be damn near unfair and unrealistic. It has happened in the NFL before. where teams have lost. Our own Dallas Cowboys have lost players before, and actually were on the team playing to, I believe, Arizona, who we just played the week before. So it's a little irony, but we had lost a player in a car crash. Actually, a former two players were in the car of the Dallas Cowboys, and one passed away. So rest in peace to him. Rest in peace to Marshawn Kneeland. And as a nation, I just want us to lean on each other. We got a great fan base. We're a family unit at this fan base, so you're never alone. And 94, Marshawn, I was looking forward to watching you on Sundays. I could see instantly you had a love for the game. You were coming along. You was finding your way in this league. And just for a very short time that we got to call you a Dallas Cowboys, because you're forever a Cowboy now. You're forever a Cowboy. It was a pleasure. I will say that. It was a pleasure. Okay. And I just wanted to mention that this is my first video since the tragedy happened, and I just couldn't go forward without saying my piece. So there goes. Rest in peace. And we're going to move forward. So Dallas had to buy, excuse me, last week. Dallas had to buy last week. Now we got the Raiders upcoming. I don't want to overlook this game. First of all, let me just playoffs. Let me tell you what has to happen for playoffs to make it, right? We actually have to almost win out. I don't think we could lose. We have to get to 9 wins, right? We need to get to 9 wins to even think about playoffs, and we might be a win short. But in order for us to do that, we basically would have to win out. Now, as you can see, the remaining schedule goes like this. You got the Raiders on Monday night. Then we have to play Philly, Kansas City, the Lions, Minnesota, Chargers, Washington, and then end up with the Giants. To say this is going to be a tough task would be an understatement. It's damn near impossible looking at this remaining schedule to think that we could even go to win out, right? We all know that the additions of Quinnen Williams, Logan Wilson, this defense should be looking better. Will they be able to play better up front? I believe so. But we got Malik Hooker should be coming back as safety. Siobhan Revell will be making his debut against the Raiders. Overshown will be back against the Raiders. So the defense is getting some help. The defense is getting some help, and we should be able to look at least cohesive, like we know what we're doing. We should be able to do that. We should be able to do that. Eberflus, this right here for me. I don't want to hear about Eberflus next season if he can't prove anything with these last few games. Now, I'm not saying going from last to first, but we should not finish. We should finish in the high 20s, maybe even the teens. Okay, if he's doing his job correctly, there's no longer, oh, we can't get pressure. There's no longer we shouldn't be able to stop the run. Jerry Jones has given Eberflus the power to stop the run. You got Quinnen Williams, big dog, Kenny Clark, also Diggy Solomon Thomas. If you can't, and then you got the rookie Joe Toia. If you can't stop the run with these gentlemen, then you just can't. It's not for you. And I'm done. And I'm not even going to look to try it. I'm not going to talk myself into wanting to keep Eberflus next season. I want it to be an uproar if he doesn't finish out this season strong for him to lose his job in the off season, right? We got the Raiders up next. We already know how crazy that stadium is gonna be. It's gonna be loud. I believe this is Dallas's first time in Vegas. So you know it's gonna be a sold out event. Um, I I believe Dallas will handle business. Not saying because the loss of Marshawn Nealon that this team is going to be so close and you know bring this tragedy bring us closer. I hope that it actually does bring us closer. I hope that guys spent more time together. I hope that to get their minds off this tragedy that they were together and they talked football, right? I hope that. In reality, I'm not sure. I believe this game could go two ways, one or two ways. One, we come out in memory of Marshawn and we kick ass. On the other hand, there's a lot of grief going on in that building. It's very hard to talk about football and to focus on football when your brother's gone, you know? And I don't want to put if we did lose to the Raiders solely on the fact of that, but if there was ever a mulligan to give the Dallas Cowboys, it will be this week because of what they're going through and the circumstances behind it. I believe it'll be the first choice, which they come out and kick ass in the memory of Marshawn. But I have to be ready for the latter as well because we are human. I'm sure he meant a lot to this team in the matter of how we lost him, grabs you by your throat, by your collar, and won't let go. So we have to be understanding that these gentlemen are and staff and coaches, you understand? Like Marshawn was sitting in somebody's in somebody's meeting room. Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, he was always there. He had a desk, he had a locker, somebody sat next to him. Okay. There's cafeteria, there's all kind of spaces in which he used to inhabit, and now he's not there. It's tough. That's tough. That's very tough to even think about playoffs, to think about going on a run with that kind of shit on your heart, on your mind. It's tough. It's tough. And I know these Cowboys, I know they want to fight. I know they want to make something of this season. Um, and in my heart, I believe this loss, this tragedy might propel them even just a little bit to play a little harder for your brother in memory of your brother. I'm sure there'll be some kind of decals on the field, possibly on their jerseys or on their helmets wearing it. He's going to be in the stands. Marshawn is going to be in attendance, right? He is going to be in attendance Monday night with this team. And I'm just hoping for a win for everybody's sake. We need it. Going forward, we got the Philadelphia Eagles after that. Tough game. Tough game. Even though they have their own problems, they're still winning. They're still doing the damn thing. Right? We can't overlook. Of course, we're not overlooking them. We can't overlook them, right? If we win that game, if we win Oakland and we win Philly, we'll have some real momentum going in to that Kansas City game. Now, of course, we will not be favored in that game. We won't be favored in the Philly game. We're favored in the Raiders game. But besides Raiders, I'm looking possibly the last game we'll be favored in is possibly Washington, but for sure the Giants. But Washington, 5 should be back. Jaden Daniels should be back. What they'll be fighting for, I don't know. It's still a divisional matchup, so it'll be hard right now to say that will be favored in that game. So, but we playing Philly at home. So that's a plus. We playing Kansas City at home. Is it a plus? Because Dallas really don't have no home field advantage. Dallas really doesn't have home field advantage, but Philly at home, Kansas City at the crib, I'd rather that. And then we got to go to Detroit. Then we got to verse these guys that's been holding on to that one loss. They already got their get back, but for some reason, the fan base and the players, they hate Dallas. They want to bring it to us, and they are definitely a formidable opponent. These guys on offense can make magic. Their defense doesn't look that hot, but their offense is hot. So my defense will definitely have a challenge on their hands. How much impact Quentin Williams makes is yet to be seen. We know statistically he's a dog. We know statistically he's one of the best defensive tackles in the league. We know age, he's only 27. So we got him in his prime right now. In his prime, and I believe the beginning stages of his prime. Shouts out to Jerry. Shouts out to Steven. Shouts out to Will McClay for making this shit happen. I think also Logan Wilson will learn to love him as well. He's already better than majority of all our linebackers that we have currently. So he's an upgrade. How much will these guys be willing to how much will these guys be able to impact the outcome of these games? Is Quentin Williams worth one or two more wins having him on his team? We don't know yet, but we will see. So after Detroit, then we gotta go. Then we play Minnesota at the crib. We play the Chargers at the crib. So it's tough sledding. It's tough sledding. It's tough sledding from here on out. We're 3-5-1. We win versus the Raiders is 4-5-1. Philly, we beat Philly. We at 500. And then that the from Kansas City to the Chargers, it's just we can't go 1-3 in those games, right? We can't go 1-3. The Chargers are beat up. Minnesota isn't looking as hot as they are, but still, you know, they can do it to us if we let them. Actually, scrap all that. This is my shit talking session. We got the Raiders whooping ass. Eagles, we getting our look back. They not sweeping us this season. Kansas City, we might lose to Kansas City. They getting hotter. We might lose. That's gonna be a fight. Detroit, the defense, it ain't that hot. It ain't that hot. Their offense though is very hot. So those two games right there is up in the air. Minnesota though, Minnesota has not been Minnesota in like it was last year with Sam Darnold. They're not doing that. McCarthy hasn't proven himself yet at all. And then we go to the Chargers. They're beat up. Offensive missing both of their tackles, right? So if Quentin and them is collapsing that pocket, we're gonna have Herbert on a run, and then I like Easy. I like it. I like Easy for a few sacks in that game, maybe 1 or 2 sacks. So the Chargers is definitely beatable in my opinion. The Chargers are definitely beatable in my opinion. So is the Minnesota Vikings. I think our toughest remaining games is the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions, right? So let's say we lose to Kansas City and we lose to Detroit, right? Let's say that. But we beat the Raiders, we beat Philly. Are you guys feeling different? Are you guys feeling a little bit optimistic? Because let's say we win 6 games. Raiders, Eagles, Minnesota, Chargers, Washington, and New York. Let's say we win those 6 games. That gives us 9 right there. Are we in the playoffs? Are we in the playoffs with those 9 wins? Or to guarantee to really solidify Well, my thing is this. Yes, I want to make the playoffs. Yes, I don't want this season to go how it has been going. I don't want that to happen. But what I also want to see is us to get a statement win. And I don't want Philly to be the only statement win, right? I would love for us to beat Kansas City at the crib. I would love to go to Detroit and whoop that ass in Detroit. I would love that. And the reason why I would love that is because those are the wins that's going to garner respect from across the league. Those are the wins that when you walk in the crib, you can hang your hat on and say, we beat them. They are somebody, right? They are on the upper echelons of teams in the NFL. So I am definitely looking forward to the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions games, because if we could just pull out one of those two games, I feel very confident automatically before we get to Minnesota, before we get to the Chargers, Washington, or New York. If we could win one of those two games coming off beating the Raiders and the Eagles, I have great hopes for this team. If we beat the Raiders and the Eagles and then turn around and beat either Kansas City or Detroit, this fan base is going to go crazy. That Minnesota game will be loud. Okay, there will be a lot to fight for when we play Minnesota if we could get one of those two games. Now, if we lose both of those games, the game against Minnesota will still be very loud and important because we can't lose anymore. You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to pull this schedule up. I've been seeing a lot of content creators talk about, can the Dallas Cowboys make it to the playoffs? Can we make it a rush? I just showed y'all a path to the playoffs. Can we do it? That's up to them ultimately. As a fan, as a diehard fan, I'm wishing and hoping and praying that it does happen. We just need this defense to come alive, and we need our offense to get back to doing what it was doing. I need Shoddy to get back into that bag. I need Dak Prescott to stop having to feel like he got to force it. You know, I want us to get back to a physical brand of football. I want to run on guys, right? When we get to the 1 yard line, I want us to actually, when we get into the red zone period, I want us to push it in. I want us to get into the end zone. We need to figure a few things out. We still got some time. It's crazy once again what's happening with us as a team, as an organization, as a fan base. We're all grieving. It's been a tough week for us. And hopefully on Monday night, Dallas could give us something to smile about. We're all going to be in the buildings in attendance, either physically or spiritually. And we know Marshawn is going to be right along with us in this spiritual form. And we should be able to pull that win out. But that was my time for today. I just wanted to bring this schedule up and show y'all that there is a path to the playoffs. No matter how hard it may look, I think people are looking at the names of these teams and not where these teams are currently at. Philly is beatable. Kansas City is beatable. Yes, they found their niche this season. They started slow and they're getting hot, but they're beatable. Detroit is beatable. Minnesota is beatable. Chargers is beatable. And we already know Washington and the Giants are beatable, but they could also whoop our ass. So we can't take the rest of this season light. We can't take this rest of the season light. We got to put some initiative into these wins. And I don't want to hear any excuses for Eberflus. I don't want to hear any excuses for Brian Schottenheimer. These two gentlemen have to lead this damn organization into a winning record. If they do that, then their seats is comfortable. If they don't, they should both be on the damn hot seat by the end of the season. That's my time. It's your boy, Run It Up Rude. This has been another episode of Real Sports Talk. Please remind yourself, make sure to hit that. Do it right now. Do it right now. Hit that like, comment, and subscribe for your boy. And this is my time. I'm out. Peace.